Hey everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a family of 8 who live off-grid in Australia. Today's video is the shopping video. So we shop every 8 to 9 weeks. It'll be a 10-week gap, this particular one. And we shop about 3.5 hours away from home. And I do it on purpose in that way. There is a couple of reasons. Partly because it's 3.5 hours away. You know, that's a big one. And my mother lives in Brisbane, which is where I go to shop. So it allows me to go and spend 2 nights with her and do everything all at once. There is a couple of reasons to do it all at once. Things like rewards points that are only available if you purchase things in person, like Kmart is 5 times the flyby points if you go in and grab it. The Woolworths and Coles rewards points systems that I'm with give you a 10% discount once a month up to a value of $50. So doing a larger shop once a month is a beneficial way of doing that, of accessing that up to $50 discount each month, and we do that. Though I do tend to use it every second month because I only shop every second month and I gift it to a friend for the other time. One of the biggest things for us was that when we first moved out here and we were shopping every fortnight, and we were just going an hour and a half away to Toowoomba, and we were spending a lot of money on food. Each shop was costing me at least $1,000, and we weren't getting the same quality or quantity of food that we are now over each fortnight. And we were eating more and wasting more because we could, is how I look at it. So once we started dragging the shopping out, and it wasn't an immediate thing, we did start dragging it out 4 weeks and then 6 weeks and then out to 8 to 9 weeks. We found that you'd be forced, horrible word, but you'd be forced to eat what you had because it was there. And so there was a lot less wastage because you made sure that you ate it. And towards the end of the month, the meals were a little lackluster, but at the same time, there were plenty of food, and that was stuff that you might not use if you didn't have to use it. So that's our purpose for doing what we do. Budgeting wise, we used to be on an extraordinarily strict budget, and I would have to watch every cent, and I'd have to count every cent in every shop that I went to make sure that I had enough to get through. We are in the extraordinarily lucky position at the moment that with adding YouTube into our scope of things, along with the shop that I opened, not that I'm doing anything with it at the moment, but in the lead up to Christmas it helped, and I still do a few sales here and there. All of these things have allowed me to be a little bit more lenient with my budget. So whilst I do have still set ideas of how much I want to spend, because even if we have a little bit more to spend, we're still frugal in mindset. Our goal was, and the goals have changed as the kids have gotten older and as things have increased in cost. So originally my goal was that if you broke down all of the shopping and you broke it down to 3 meals a day per head in the house, even though the kids eat far more than 3 meals a day, we're using this as a measuring stick, then I wanted it to be $2 or under per head per meal. So $6 per person per day was approximately the averaged out amount that I wanted to spend on my groceries. We are up closer to $3 per person per meal now, and realistically that's an increase of $1 per meal per person, and over 3 or 4 years, and the children have gained 3 or 4 years of age in that. And when we started, they were a lot younger. So the kids are currently 9, 10, 12, almost 14 and 17. So that makes a bit of a difference in the quantity of food that they eat as well. So the kids are predominantly dairy-free. They had issues as smaller children, and some of them seem to have grown out of the significant issues like the instantaneous issues. So I'm not as concerned about may contain and things like that, but we still stick to mostly dairy-free because I don't want to aggravate anything and deal with the consequences. Darryl and I are focused on lower carb, Darryl more towards carnivore with a little bit of veggies, and me more keto to moderate carbs. So that's fairly new in the scope of things. It's only been the last 2 shopping trips, and has made judging the quantities of things that we need a little bit difficult, which has made things harder as well. So I got interrupted and I can't remember exactly where I got up to, but in saying that our dollar per person per meal per day has more increased up to about the $3 mark than the $2 mark, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. Anyway, most of you are here to see the actual groceries. So here's all the groceries. We have to because I get home at like 5 o'clock on the Friday afternoon, it takes us till about 8:30 of an evening to lay it all out and film it all and everything else. So you can see it'll get darker as it goes through, and the shadows and everything else, but hopefully it all comes out clear enough. So this is all the groceries. Now I will come back afterwards and I'll give you a breakdown of all the pricing and things like that. I do try and include some pricing while I'm showing it, but I don't always manage it, so we'll see. So yes, this is the actual groceries for this period, and it will probably be a 10-week period, this one. All right, we're on our first table of the day. Anyone who's been around knows that we have multiples. So let's start over here. We got, let me adjust the camera a bit. There we go. I found these jelly straws at Costco. I think they were like $13 or something for 150 of these little straws, and I thought the kids would really enjoy them, so it was just a treat for the kids. My fancy baking paper in the bulk rolls. I bought 2 of the big jars of the Cornicon pickles, which are really nice. I bought a whole bunch of the Jelly Light jelly. These were half price last week or the week before or something. I got them delivered to mum's in one of the orders that needs to be done, and the kids really like these as well, so I got a whole lot of that. I got the 6 litres of olive oil from Kirkland. It was still at $75 for the 6 litres, but I did actually buy some from Aldi first because I just can't always guarantee that there's any olive oil there. These are $13.99 a litre, so they actually work out more expensive now. But it is kind of handy to have these small ones just stashed for when I run out of these. I grabbed the Mission Tortilla burrito ones from Costco for the kids. These are 3 packs of 12, and they come in at about $9.69 or something. But I also grabbed some of the Woolworths ones because I've been told that these are really nice, and I grabbed some whole grain ones as well as the white ones. They work out a similar price. I think these work out about 30 cents each, and these about 27 cents each. So much of a muchness, and I wanted to give them a go. Woolworths is easier to access if we have to access it in between times. I grabbed almonds because we're completely out of almonds. So I grabbed slivered almonds because I prefer those for granola. I bought whole almonds for making almond butter and all that sort of stuff with, and some almond flour. So I bought 2 of each of those. The almond flour is about $12.99. Whole almonds and slivered end up being $14 something a kilo, I think it is. So the almond flour is actually the cheapest, which is really strange, but that's life. I also grabbed a rice bran oil as my vegetable oil, and I grabbed 3 of the boxes of the UHT coconut milk that the kids use in their hot drinks. I actually, this is from Kmart, but this little cat novelty tower to go in the cat cage. I grabbed some peanuts. There's plans for me to make some of the faux Snickers bars for the kids using dates and stuff, so I wanted some peanuts, and I grabbed some cashews. I was supposed to grab dates at Woolworths, and I forgot. They were on special, $13 a kilo, a 5 kilo box of medjool dates, and I forgot. Costco's medjool dates were like $44 a kilo, so I wasn't grabbing them. But these Deglet dates were $10 and something a kilo on sale, so these will work fine. I grabbed some instant noodles. There's 2 of these, 2 kilo packs. I don't know where the other one is, so that we can start doing some instant noodle homemade flavouring mixes and soup mixes and stuff, and they can have these for as it cools down. I grabbed some plain banana chips from Woolworths for the kids, but then Costco still had these ones. I bought these a couple of trips ago, and they're a salted banana chip. The kids said they taste sort of like potato chips, and they quite like them, but they're really cheap. So I actually have 3 bags of that. One's fallen down off the table. Skippy had this this special chocolate striped Skippy, so I bought that for the kids. It's like twice the price of standard peanut butter, but thought it was a nice treat. I got 12 of the Coles coconut creams. No, I think I got 24. I think there's another 12 somewhere of the coconut cream, and 12 of the corn from Aldi. When I went to Aldi, they had no coconut cream, so it's a bit of a bummer. I got 2 of the maple syrup because it was on special for $5 off. I bought the kids some Oreos. They were half price, $1.40 per packet. I grabbed Darryl some of the beef sticks from Costco. I grabbed baked beans. Now, I went looking for navy beans because I was going to can baked beans for the kids because they quite like my canned ones. The navy beans at Coles were like $6.93 a kilo for the beans. That's not including everything else needed to make them and the process of canning. These were on special for $5 a kilo. I had a look at them. They only had 4.7 or something grams of sugar per tin, and so I went, well, that's not actually that bad. I didn't realize when I picked these up that I actually picked up 2 different flavors, and this English recipe is slightly higher in sugar, but it's still only 5.4 per 100, so it's really not that bad. So they worked out quite cheap. I did find, mind you, when I went to Costco, that Costco's standard price is still cheaper than it was on sale, so I'll remember that for next time. I bought a dozen of the rice cakes for the kids. I also bought a 4-kilo bag of chickpeas, dried chickpeas from Costco. They were on special, and I want to make some hummus, so I wanted that. I did grab some of the low sugar, low carb cranberry, pineapple cranberry, and cranberry black currant. These were on special 2 for $8, which is really cheap for these. And these actually make really nice jelly as well, but a fruit juice based one and at the low carb. It still works out more expensive than buying like instant jelly, but a lot better for you. So I grabbed those as well. Sonnet's favorite chicken salt. She likes to use this on just about everything, but she very much likes it on popcorn. A 6-pack of the 800-gram Muri tomatoes. I actually wanted the 2-kilo tins to make pasta sauce this month, and they didn't have any. So I think I've got 1 left on the shelf, and with this, that should be enough to do it. I got 2 boxes of the rice crackers, so 24 boxes of rice crackers, packets of rice crackers. I grabbed the pistachio cream. Now, this has been going around, like, I don't use TikTok, but TikTok and YouTube and all that sort of stuff for the Ninja Creamy. And this was on special $15, I think, for the 600 gram, which is actually really cheap when you think about the cost of buying pistachios and then trying to like turn them into pistachio cream. So I grabbed that to try in the Ninja Creamy. I got 2 boxes of the basil pesto that the kids really like to use with their pasta. And then I got 6 boxes of Wheat Bix, 6 boxes of rice bubbles, and I got rice milk as much as I could from 3 different places. What did I miss? Oh, the pita pockets. The kids, I bought these on a whim, and the kids really liked them, so I bought a couple packets more of those, and these more standard pitas that are the really big ones for them to try, just as something different. And I think that's it for this table. So that's table number 1. Alrighty, table number 2. We'll start here again. We have, let me get the camera right. All right, we have 6 dish detergent. Toothbrushes. I buy toothbrushes every month. I did find these ones with suction cap that I thought were kind of cool. The kids might like. Some nappy sand for washing. Costco had these little bowls on clearance, and I really like these little bowls. I buy them whenever they have different designs. I got half a dozen of the automatic sprayer insect stuff. There's 4 of the anti-dandruff ones, but there's more shampoo somewhere, but that's that lot, and some toothpicks. Now, I bought some pouches for the kittens because we're trying to do dinner that's a wet food, a treat, to, you know, teach them when dinner is, and they always come back for dinner once they're let out of their cages and stuff. And we were using tins, but some of the cats really don't like the food once it's been refrigerated, so the sachets mean that we don't have to refrigerate it. And these worked out, they were on sale for $9 a box, so they were 88 cents per 100. And so were these. So both brands were on sale for $9 a box. I bought both to try, see if they have a preference. 88 cents per 100, and the tins are 68 cents per 100, so it's really not that much of a difference with the less chance of wastage. I bought half a dozen packs of our scourers that I always buy, a couple of packs of wipes. I bought paper towel. I didn't realize I've bought it twice, but obviously it was cheap when I did one of the grocery deliveries that got sent to Mum's, and I grabbed that one at Big W as well. Shelf stable udon noodles. They replaced 6 of them with the Singapore noodles. They don't mind. They're just different shapes. They taste much the same. So there's a dozen of those, which is 3 to 4 meals worth. A Maggi gravy. I'm not sure if we'll need one this like 8 weeks or whatever, but it's good to have a spare. The 3 litres of ghee that we always get from Costco. Rice. This rice was half price. It was $9.50, I think, for the 5 kilos. So I grabbed this particular rice. Really doesn't worry us. White rice. We still have sushi rice left, and we do have some basmati, but we would need more in this period. I got a Dijon mustard and some of the larger gallon Ziploc bags. Popcorn. We buy it like this because that's the only way that Coles and Woolworths and that sell it. I really would like to buy it in bulk, but I have to order through, honest to goodness, and I just never seem to have enough money to do a wholesale order there lately. Some sriracha sauce for a couple of recipes that I wanted to try, and the minced garlic that I always buy. We got straight spaghetti, dry spaghetti based on what we had left in the inventory. So I got some angel hair and some spaghetti. I think there's about 6 of each of those. I got 2 packets of the nutritional yeast flakes, and I think I got a dozen of the penne because I'm pretty sure there is none left in the crates at all. So I think I got a dozen of those. I got 2 of the plain Skippy peanut butter, and I got 2 of the red curry paste. I don't think I bought any green because I think we got plenty, so I just grabbed a couple of red. I think I got 15 kilos of oats. I think I got 10 bags. I think it was 10, but it's a pile of bags. I got 10 kilos of raw sugar, mostly for canning purposes. I got a chipotle and adobo because, again, for specific recipes. Anchovies because Darryl likes these on his pizza. And sun-dried tomatoes. This is the cheapest way to buy it in this big jar at Woolworths. It's quite a good price. I think it's like $3 something for this jar. So definitely worth doing. I got these for the kids just because I saw them and wanted to get them, and they looked kind of cool. Just the, fruit juice based jelly snack type things. There is 16 packs in this thing, so just nice little portion controlled treats there. I got some of the lemon lime orange diet cordial that we like to add to the soda stream. 2 bags of the veggie crisps, which is one of the things that Kavik requests every shopping trip. That is one of his favorite things. The other kids like them too, but it's one of Kavik's favorites. Half a dozen arborio rice for risotto. I got 3 kilos of black beans to can up. Sonnet's my black bean fan, but most of them enjoy them. A kilo of sesame seeds. I got 4 bags of the Woolworths cocoa powder. Again, just having to buy it in these small packets is really annoying, but I can't do a bulk order at the moment. I bought 2 different types. There's another one somewhere, but this protein pasta to give a go in some of my moderate carb, higher protein meals. So I bought 2 different brands to give a try. These were both on special. I think this one was half price and the other one was like $1.20 off or something. So I bought 2 different brands to give those a go. And these were half price as well on one of the shops that I sent to Mum. And it gives me, it's something that they can use initially before I get to making granola because, I've been really slack with that. And a bag of hot dog buns because anyone who's been around for a while knows that the kids have hot dogs for dinner on grocery night. All right, table 3, this is just the smattering of stuff that was left. And then we'll move on to the rest of the fruit and veg and stuff. Mind you, I've got carrots here. So we got 3 3-kilo bags of carrots and there's 2 5-kilo bags of potatoes there. And then I'm going to dodge you. There is 7 of the apple juice from Aldi. And now I buy 7 because I buy a box and then 1 for them to scan. So that's why we end up with 7. Some shampoo and conditioner to go with the other ones, and some refill soap that was half price, coconut and lime, which I really like the idea of the smell of. Some gloves for doing dishes with. Sonnet has problems with her skin, so that's good for that. A dozen packs of the Coles corn chips. These have gone up from what they were, but they still are the cheapest corn chips to buy. This is the other brand of the protein pasta that I got some of as well. Again, that was on sale. This was half price and it was just a impulse buy for the kids to make, and we'll see what it's like. I think it was $2 something. So it was worth looking at. I grabbed 2 Nando's sauces for some recipes that I had in the high protein stuff. These were both on sale at Woolworths this week. I grabbed a malt vinegar to make Worcestershire sauce with. I grabbed a small Bi Carb because I was going to buy a bulk one at Costco as well, but I bought this just in case, which is good because I couldn't find the bulk one at Costco. A couple of baking powders, a spare yeast for the shelf, a spare oyster sauce, some of the low sugar tomato ketchup. There's 4 of those. There's only one's already gone to the bench for hot dogs. Some of the Muddy pizza sauce, it was on special, and I don't have any extra tomatoes at the moment to make pizza sauce with, and we have none left on the shelf, so I grabbed those for that, and a pack of the passata, and I also grabbed a Worcestershire sauce to get us through until I make the Worcestershire sauce. And we bought 3 of the big things of toilet paper. So we're going to get this last lot cleared off. One more thing. Can I put her on the video? And then we'll get the table loaded up again. The last thing was the 25 kilo bag of flour. Now this is just a 25 kilo bag of plain flour because they did not have any baking flour at all. So we will see how we go with that. Alrighty, we're on to what? This is the 4th tableful, I think. And again, we've got a bit of a mix of things. So I got a Wagyu brisket at $19.99 a kilo. I'm going to turn this probably into pastrami because everyone really enjoyed it. So I'll brine it myself and then smoke it. And they also had a blade roast piece, steak piece for $19.99 a kilo. Again, Wagyu. So it's marbling of 6 to 7. So it looks really, really nice. So we will cut this up and use it for a variety of things. I probably should have bought more than one, but space and all that, I didn't. So I think I'm going to have to do a bulk meat order in a couple of weeks anyway, because I just feel like it's not going to have been enough meat either. And I think I spent less than I expected, so we'll see. I got 2 bags of these crumbed schnitzels. They were only $15 for a bag. So cheap for pre-prepared crumbed chicken, and the idea was that the kids could do these even if at a lunchtime, could cook up a few and they can slice them up and use them in their wraps and things like that as a choice. Grabbed a celery for stock, 2 big cabbages. They were $3.50 each, so just 2 of those big cabbages. I bought 3 of the standard rolled pork roasts that I always buy that are $6.99 a kilo, and we use these for pork mince, for smoked pork, for pulled pork, for everything. So 3 of those porks. I grabbed 2 of the whipped cream. We've been using this with the sugar-free jelly as a dessert, Darryl and I, which has been really nice. And you use far less cream when you're buying it like this. It's $8 for a tin, but it lasts a lot longer than whipping cream from a container. I bought 2 of the Greek yogurts, mostly just to use in the first couple of weeks in case I don't get yogurt made. And when the fridges are full. 2 of the 1 litre thickened creams. They did not have the 2 litre creams this time, which is fine. We will use these ones, and then we'll use the Black and Gold brand from Foodworks. It works quite well. I got a container of Laughing Cow cheese because a lot of those high protein meals use Laughing Cow cheese to keep the calories lower, but with the creaminess. A block of mozzarella that I bought instead of the grated mozzarella because this was on special and it was a lot cheaper. It was, I want to say it was $15 for the block, which is a lot cheaper per kilo than the pre-grated stuff, so I'll just have to grate that and freeze it. I also grabbed as another cheese. There is more cheese somewhere too, so there is definitely things missing from here, but there is more cheese. But I got a Colby Jack from Costco, and I grabbed their blocks of cream cheese as well. A bag of chocolate chips. These were about the $35 mark, which is 17 something a kilo. A whole lot more expensive than it used to be, but cheaper than a lot of other places. I got 2 of the salamis. We use these for pizzas mostly, but it's really nice salami. A bag of spinach that we'll use in the next couple of days. I got 3 of the grass-fed New Zealand butter that we really like. I used a whole lot of that up to make the smoked butter emulsion, so we don't have I think we've got 1 box in the fridge maybe. The butcher had a discounted bag of shortcut bacon for $25 for 2.5 kilos, which is really cheap. So I bought that. I'm hoping to make some bulk English muffins with egg and bacon and stuff to go in the freezer. So shortcut is good for that. I bought a bag of cheese Kranskis. We used to buy these when we were keto years ago, and they were a really nice thing to just cook up and eat as a snack or whatever. But they have gone up in price a lot. These were like $14 something per kilo. So I just grabbed 1 bag basically for nostalgia because that's a bit more than I want to pay. I grabbed 4 of the hot dog sausages that I buy. These were marked down to $9 per pack. So I grabbed a couple of extra because they freeze really well and they defrost fine. So they can be tossed and eaten throughout the rest of the month. They also have long use by dates on them anyway. I think it's April. Yeah, 3rd of... that might even say May, 3rd of May. So I grabbed a pork loin boneless roast as just something different to use. It's really nice if you cut chunks off it and roast it, so something different. These honey pork boneless ribs were on special for $15 for the box, and that was just a impulse buy for Darryl and I. It's probably got a fair few carbs in it though because it's honey, but we'll give it a go. Costco is now selling this frozen mince. Now it's 8 250 gram packs and it's frozen. and it's cheaper than their actual other mints. Now, I don't want to use it for most things because that much packaging is horrible, but at 250 gram packs, it would defrost really quickly. So if we needed, Darryl and I needed something quickly for a meal, we can just pull a 250 gram pack out, defrost it, and use it. They had, standing in the light, thank you. They had ham on special at the butcher as well, $9 instead of $19. Ham freezes well, so, and it's used by 8th of March, so it's not like it's needs to be used in a hurry, but it does freeze well, so I grabbed 2 of those packs. I grabbed 2 of the chicken breasts. These are $9.99 a kilo. We don't use breasts for a lot of things, but it's nice to have them occasionally for some things. So 2 packs of them. These pork ribs at the butcher were cheap. They're only $4.99 a kilo. So I grabbed 4 trays of those because we'd probably need the 4 trays for a meal for all of us. And it's just, they sound nice, and that was cheap for ribs. And I grabbed 8 of the thighs. The thighs are $11.79 a kilo at Costco at the moment. And they had cheap Pioneer economy bacon at the butcher as well. I think it was $9 a kilo, so I grabbed a couple of those. I grabbed a box of cauliflower. I want to say, I do have a price list somewhere, he gave it to me, I can't remember, but I want to say that it was $24 for the box, and maybe 8 or 10 kilos, I'm not real sure. But whatever it is, it's cheaper than if we're buying the frozen cauliflower rice, it's $10 a kilo. So this is going to be cheaper, even with the excess, which the pigs will adore, to rice some of my own. So I grabbed a box of those. I grabbed 1 pack of eggs, $11.79 I think they were for a 30 pack.
They have special chickens that lay eggs that have...
They are 30 eggs per patron, and that's it. I could have got another pack from Mum too, but I hate paying for eggs when we should be getting them, and we're not. It drives me nuts. So Goanna's are, having a feast. I also got 2 trays of strawberries. So these are 2 punnet deep, and they were $1.50 per punnet, so $27 I think per box of strawberries, which is really cheap for this time of year. They're not normally still around, so I was happy to pay that for those. And I think that's it for this table, so we'll put this away and come back. Next table, I have no idea what number we're up to. I have totally lost track.
This is 6.
6? All right, and we're losing light too. So I got a couple of Easter things for the kids, some candy eggs and some little jelly things, because I don't think I'll be going again before Easter, and we don't really celebrate Easter, but I bought them because I found them. I got a bunch of bits and pieces in here, so I didn't lay them all out. Some of the sugar-free orange chocolate, dark chocolate orange, and the mint one as well in here, the Coles brand. We really like these. They are the best that I've found in the sugar-free chocolates, and they come in, they've got 5 individual packets inside, which works really well for portioning. I also, across the couple of different shops, I picked some of these. I use these for making Rocky Road, which I haven't got around to lately, but they work for that. And there was some No Shoe brand ones as well. I also got, so they had some, also got white choc chips for making the brookies that I'm going, the brookie bakehouse recipe. So I got some sugar-free white chocolate chips so that I feel a bit better about eating them. And then, yeah, just a bunch of different brands. There's some of the No Shoe sugar-free or low sugar jelly lollies and stuff too. So this is just a bag full of miscellaneous bits and pieces like that that we're going to put on a shelf to use throughout the 8 to 10 weeks. I got about 8 kilos of the skin on chicken thighs from Woolworths. They were $7.50 a kilo, and it was whatever they had left in the thing. They don't have much more than what's in the deli, so I just buy what they've got. I got 4 of the Woolworths beef ravioli, which is the cheapest, even compared to the Latina when it was half price. This was still cheaper. We stick that in the freezer, and it's just really good for the kids' easy meal at some point if we need it. I got a couple of the cauliflower rice, and a dozen of the standard veggie that I prefer, the beans, carrot, corn and broccoli. Not that I'm eating it at the moment, but it's the one that we picked. There was 4 of the boneless chickens available at Aldi, and that's it. So I grabbed those 4, and I grabbed a couple of the buffalo wings as well that Darryl and I really like. I also got told that the cheese Kranskis at Aldi were quite good. They were a good price. I think it was $3.99 for 300 gram. So I grabbed 2 of those to try. The Coles The Coles block cheese is only $9.50 per kilo, and it's quite a nice cheese. So I grabbed 2 of those, and I grabbed this bacon at Aldi before I found the cheap bacon at the butcher. So I've got that as well. Started the fruit and stuff. We got 3 boxes of grapes. So 2 boxes of green grapes, 1 box of red grapes. They were $18 a box. I got a box of green apples. I just put my piece of paper somewhere that had all the pricing on it, and I don't know where. Were $38 for the box. They were not cheap compared to like sometimes, but they're good quality ones. And we also got some freebies. I'll show you that in the next load of stuff that's got some bruising and stuff, but I'll go through that and I'll cut it up and we can make apple pie fillings or crumbles or whatever out of it.
I'm pretty sure this is the 5th table, actually.
I don't know. A box of limes. They were $25. So giant box of limes for $25. So they were really good. The oranges were only 50 cents a kilo. The skin on them's really mottled and discoloured, but they smell lovely, and he said they taste really good. They just can't sell them for a very good price because nobody wants things that look funny. So I got 2 boxes of those. I think they're 15 kilo boxes of the oranges at 50 cents a kilo. I got a box of plums. These weren't overly cheap either, but I wanted plums to make my Worcestershire sauce, and the kids love eating them too. $20 for that box. Stop handling all the fruit. $20 for that box. And that's it on this table for the moment. So we'll clear this up and we'll come back. Last table, no idea. Sonnet seems to think we've got the number wrong on the last one and that this is the 6th. I don't know. Miscellaneous stuff. So hardwood pellets for the smoker. A 18 kilo bag is $35 at Costco, whereas a 9 kilo bag is $35 at Bunnings. So these are a good buy. Should probably buy a couple of them when I see them because they don't always have them, but was concerned about space. Box of broccoli. This was $26 for the box. It's an 8 kilo box. I've got mushrooms here that were $24 for the box of cut mushrooms. They were just the cheapest ones that he had. I've got a box of Lebanese cucumbers underneath, and they were $16 for that box. I've got zucchini that were $28. These weren't particularly cheap either, but I really want some zucchini. I've only got 2 bags left in the freezer. I really like to do some stuff with it fresh, but having it in the freezer is really handy. There was a box of dragon fruit. Now, this wasn't a particularly cheap box. It's $2. I think it was $2 a kilo, so it ended up being a $30-something box, but that is really cheap for dragon fruit. Now, some of the kids are not enamored of it, some of them are, but it will look really pretty if we freeze it and put it in smoothies, regardless of whether they eat it fresh. So I will make sure to process that. And then these were a couple of the clearance boxes that they have on the side because no one wants to buy stuff that has funny looking to it. So there's some clearance limes that have some damage on the skin, which doesn't worry me in the slightest because we can juice those ones. And again, some more oranges that were a bit further discoloured than they could put on the shelf, and some apples that are the same. Some that have some bruising that is really far gone, which is fine. If I get it quick enough, I can just take that straight off. And some that just have some really weird toning on the skin. But again, we will use them in some ways. Those 2 were just freebie add-on boxes. And I think that we have covered everything for this shopping trip. Everything food related anyway.
Tell them to subscribe.
Now, I did forget to film the beef trim got left in the esky until I realised when I was sitting down, and I got the kids to move it. So I did buy a box of beef trim for anyone who hasn't been around. That is the beef that Costco turns into their beef mince, except it's still in the big chunks, and we use it and we mince it ourselves or use it for whatever else. Sometimes you get some really nice meaty parts in there and you can dice it up and use it for stewing. Sometimes it's all just mince based, and that's fine too, but it means that we can choose when to mince it rather than having it minced in the fridge straight away. And anyone who's bought mince from Costco knows that it tends to bleed everywhere, because especially if it's compacted in an esky. So buying it in the vacuum sealed beef trim box is really convenient. So that was, and it was about an 18 kilo box, this particular one. And the cat food. So if you watched yesterday's video, you saw me debating cat food. I did buy a bag of cat food, and I forgot to show it on screen. So I bought a bag of the Kirkland's cat food as well. So everything else I think got shown. Now, because I have to transport everything for a couple of hours in eskies and things like that, I do have to be careful to not overdo certain amounts of things to make sure that I've got room to transport them home. So meat wise, this isn't going to be enough to get us through. So the plan is to do one of the bulk meat orders probably in a couple of weeks time, probably up to about a $1,200 value. And that will top up, they do chicken, beef, small goods like hams and bacons, things like that. I'll decide at the time what's on special, what I want to get up to that $1,200 mark. And then that should cover all of our meat for the 10 weeks. So this shopping trip will potentially be 10 weeks. We'll see how we go, but that's what I've planned for. Because 8 weeks, it falls on Easter week, which means that there's the Friday's a public holiday, which causes issues for me because Mum works Monday to Thursday and normally comes with me on a Friday, and that allows me to drive the trailer and park elsewhere. Sometimes we drive, like at the fruit and veg shop, I park my car with the trailer attached on the street, and then Mum drives me from my car to the fruit and veg. We fill her car up with the fruit and veg, drops me back in my car, and then we head to Costco, things like that. So having her with me for the Costco fruit and veg butcher shop is really, it's fairly important. It would make life very difficult to not have her with me. So because the Friday's a public holiday, she works Monday to Thursday, it would be possible but very inconvenient to work around that. Then the 9-week mark is actually, so there's Easter Monday, which is a public holiday, which is fine, except that Friday is Anzac Day as well, which is also a public holiday. So that's only a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday week. Again, interferes with Mum being able to do her work if I need her for that for a day during there, and public holidays and school holidays and all that always makes shopping more difficult as well. So it will probably be the week after, which will make it 10 weeks. Now we will see how we go. I can always get Darryl to do a trip to Aldi or whatever in Toowoomba if need be for some bits and pieces, but we'll see how we go. So money wise, I will put it up on the screen like I normally do. So I spent $349 at the fruit and veg shop. I spent $257.80 at Big W, which is the toilet paper and the laundry detergent and the dish detergent and all that sort of thing. I spent $449.39 on my delivery order from Woolworths, and then I went into Woolworths again. And that $449 was less the $50 odd, 10% off. And then I went into Woolworths again to grab a few things that were on special, that weren't on special when I did my delivery order, and chicken from the deli, because I don't order that in my delivery. I always go in to grab that. So that was $145.01. And then Coles, my delivery order of Coles was $331.58, and then the extras that I went in to get was $135.92. I spent $360.55 at Aldi and $342.39 at the butcher. And then my last shop was $1,743.37 at Costco. Now, it was more than that by about $110, but I had $240 worth of credit from last year because I signed up to the executive membership. So over last year, 2% I earned $240, which paid for my membership, which is $135, and then the extra came off my bill as well. But what I actually paid out, there was a couple of small Coles shops that we did throughout the month because we had to do 4 shops. There was a Flybuys deal, and if we did $60 per week over 4 weeks, we got $50 back in Flybuys points, but I've basically counted those in last month's. That's our overspending in last month's shop because I didn't bring that stuff home. There's a little bit, but not much. Some went to Mum's that I did bring home, but Darryl did them in person mostly. So the total was $3,766.01. Now this is actually pretty low for us. Like it's not a particularly big one for us, especially considering I'm looking at extra time. And maybe that's because I decided I wanted to do the meat order before I did the shop, and so in the back of my mind that was there. So based on just that amount, that is $376.60 a week, or $47.07 per person a week. A day is $6.73, which works out to $2.24 per meal per person per day. So that is like low for us. That's back where it used to be when things were cheaper and kids were smaller and stuff like that. So again, I think I must have just been subconsciously going, well, I'm going to do that meat order, so I'm going to pull back a little bit on some of these things. There were a couple of things that I couldn't get. There was no baker's flour, so I only bought a 25 kilo of plain flour, which is fine. I can make bread with plain flour. It's not as good, but you just drop the hydration and it works. But I only bought the 1 bag of plain flour because normally I'd buy 1 of plain, 1 of baking, and I didn't want to buy 2 of plain because I can get cheap plain flour anywhere. So I only did that. There was something else I couldn't get to, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Baker's flour was the main thing. But there was something else that I walked through and realised at the end that I didn't see any, so I didn't grab. Might come to me, we'll see. So if we look at the costs that I spent and we add on $1,200 for the meat order in a couple of weeks, then we bring the dollar value up to $4,966.01 for the 10 weeks, which works out to be more where I feel like we sit lately, because that's $496.60 a week, $62.07 a day, $886 per person per day, or $295 per person per meal. Now, of course, all these groceries, as you can see from what was bought, include all our laundry detergent, dish detergent, toothpaste, no, not toothpaste, we buy high smell toothpaste these days, toothbrushes, the cat food and all that sort of stuff. I don't break that down. This includes it all. And I prefer to do it that way because it's still, we have to buy that regardless. And by dropping it out of a grocery budget, we have the potential to overspend on the grocery budget because it's not included. I prefer to include it in that. All our other animal feed is separate because we purchase it locally. So all our chicken, turkey, duck, and dog food and all that is purchased. Sheep, the lamb, the pig food, all that is purchased locally. So that's not included in this budget. But the bits and pieces that I did buy and show from where I was getting it, dog's going off. It is 4:30 or a bit later, which is animal feeding time, and Sonnet came out to tell me something, and of course she's the one feeding the dogs at the moment, so they're going off because it's dinner time. So dollar value wise, yes, that is closer to what I would have expected it to be. So we've budgeted in that $1,200 for the meat order, and that should bring us through to be pretty secure in food for that 10 weeks. We'll see how we go. We can always do something in the middle of it if we need to at Coles, Woolworths or Aldi if Darryl is heading to Toowoomba. But we do try to limit that sort of extra. We will probably buy extra cream because they didn't have the 2-litre creams. So we'll probably buy extra cream at the Foodland, which does the black and gold cream with the gelatin as the emulsifier, which I quite like. It's quite a nice cream. And we still occasionally buy bits and pieces for kids, and we'll get the hamper, and we'll get it probably twice in that 10 weeks maybe, which will help as well. So anyway, now there's just lots and lots of work to do to get it all sorted. I rearranged the fridges and freezers today because the kids pack it as I'm doing it of the evening, but then it never fits as much in as I could fit in. So I've gone and rearranged those, and we've started freezing bits and pieces as we need. So I will start recording that as we go, and I will share that too. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next one.